Telesto right behind those leaders. Poetic King tackled by Kingston Bay. Excited Angel, and look at Pharaoh. Pharaoh coming down the outside, might tip them all out. Kingston Bay, Pharaoh, Telesto getting up on the inside of the law. Close Telesto or Pharaoh. I think they've just beaten Kingston Bay in the centre. It's a desperately close one. 9 got it, Pharaoh. Number 9, Pharaoh, on the outside, has won the Doncaster, ridden by Gavin Eads, trained by Gai Waterhouse.
Congratulations. Thanks. We thought you were going to do headstands out there. I thought I nearly did. The hat will never be the same. Well done.
Down the outside is Pharaoh looking for 2. Doncaster straight. Can he do it again? Light Up the World is getting up near the fence, but Pharaoh dashed to the lead from Ave Glennon. Light Up the World followed by Aragen and Great Warrior, but Gavin Eads goes for home on Pharaoh. Look at Artie Mary. Artie Mary out of the pack is thundering home. Too late. Pharaoh makes it. 2 Doncasters on the trot.
You don't win Group 1 races like that. Believe me, he is a phenomenon.
Eads is cheering as he sees Gai. He cheers even more, and you reckon this guy can't get excited. Group 1, Gavin Eads.
After them, Old Pharaoh running a bit of a race. Bravada Magic Road coming again. Dana Singer getting to them. Sprint By coming through in the centre. Dana Singer looks to have got to a narrow lead over Sprint By as they get near home. Juggler is flying late. Sprint By wins the Doncaster from either Dana Singer or Juggler, which flew after being badly held up for a run.
Gai Waterhouse, I want to marry you. You've done a great job with this horse, and Gai takes all the credit. If you've seen this horse last week, last Saturday, today, Gai, you're an absolute champion.
And Gai Waterhouse this afternoon going for an unprecedented 4th straight win in the Doncaster. Can she do it? We'll talk with the lady a little later. But while most of us were enjoying a peaceful Good Friday, it was business.
I hope it comes up in the first race. In the first race, I like number 4, the North. He's favourite. I thought he'd be a lot better price, but only 6 to 4 on the tote. Let's go from the top. The Melbourne Galloper Express Age, I thought it'd be a little bit shorter. He's at $8 on the tote. Remember, these are TAB dividends. That's odds of 7 to 1. Kiwi Hero is at $9.50. West Point, a clear-cut second favourite at $2.80. $2.50 for the North. The likely leader in the race is In Prison. He's at 20 to 1. Cary Grant is a scratching. Super Steam is showing at $16. Themby at $51 and Something Special at $13. Now with Simon O'Donnell here. Simon, Super Steam and Something Special, they've been put on for me.
Ken, you're having a bad day, seriously, and you've brought it on yourself, I might add. Just as they're going around the mounting yard, Express Age looks very fit, the top one. And West Point, it's got to be a horse that is treated with a lot of respect in this race. It's run against better company a lot of the time during its career. We've got the North on screen there. That's number 4 out of the John Hawkes
He
stable.
looks all right too. He's out of a mare who was second in the Brisbane Cup Spring Thor, so the 1600 won't worry him.
No, certainly won't worry him, and again looks very hard and fit, and well, the stable's on fire. You can't say they haven't had a bad autumn carnival so far.
If he's got just a little bit of ability from octagonal, perhaps what he's got in his left big toe or something, he'll be very hard to beat. Looks to treat the North. I think he'll run well. Simon, which one do you like, Express Age?
Yeah, Express Age looks well. I'm going to stick with West Point. I think if he can find some of his spring form of last year and his form prior, I think he can be a good thing in this race. So it's a little bit iffy. And one I did like is from the Jack Denham stable, In Prison, number 5. Again, hard and fit and ready to run a big race.
Yeah, he's likely to get out in front. This is a good race, the Carbine Club Stakes. Just in recent years, Golden Sword, that great miler of Johnny Mars, who's a stablemate of Express Age, he won it a few years ago. 2 years ago, Juggler, who's racing in Dubai in the early hours of tomorrow morning, he also won this race. So it's a good race, a good guide. The Express Age there in the blinkers has got top weight. There's Kiwi Hero, a Kiwi, as his name suggests, to be ridden by Mick Dittman, who's a Queenslander. And there's number 3, West Point. Shane Dye is on him. West Point is one of the 2 shortest in the ring, alongside number 4, the North, who's coming along now. Shane Dye told you earlier, the track is fast. It looks a treat. Everything's in order. There should be no excuses today on anything, Simon.
Yeah, there's number 5 In Prison. Greg Hall to ride the Melbourne jockey. Jack Alan Denham, the trainer, the son of Jack Denham. Jack prepares them all right, and by the look of In Prison here today, so does Alan.
Yeah, Alan's a good trainer. He and his father are almost a partnership these days, with such great horses as Volante coming through the stable. They certainly know how to get one ready. All right, well, that's the scene at Randwick here this afternoon. The flowers are out, the track's good, the crowd's here. everything's ready, and we'll be back shortly with the first race from Royal Randwick on this special edition of the Wide World of Sports.
Welcome back to our coverage of Doncaster Derby Day at Royal Randwick. Now, when Katrina Roundtree gets away for the weekend, she's usually packing her passport. Today, our star reporter from the Nine Networks Getaway program is taking in the colour of one of Sydney's great landmarks, Royal Randwick. Welcome, Katrina.
Hello.
And you are, in fact, packing your bags. You're off to Indonesia, what, a couple of days' time?
Off to Indonesia on Monday, so I've got to get used to 40-degree heat.
And you've got to get used to five-star accommodation and staying in the very best places around the world.
I don't do that all the time. I do rough it, you know. It's not always five-star, sometimes.
But we don't usually see you dressed quite as elegantly as you are today.
I know, I'm not quite used to it. I got a great outfit from T Rose and I'm just sort of
This is how we usually see you.
Yeah. Oh, gosh.
Where was this?
There's my mud pack. Now, that's happening in Israel, where I was the only person without a skin disease. Oh, there we go. That's in Bali, trying to do some haggling. I'm not the world's greatest haggler.
But I mean, this is work. This is what you get paid for.
Yeah,
this is just the most
this is
wonderful
why I get
job.
paid the big bucks, Ken.
Now tell me.
It is hard. Oh, there we are shopping in New York.
Now you are going to be here looking at all the fashions and looking about who's who and who's not doing well and so forth. What have you seen so far? Have you been impressed on this wonderful day? I mean, I'm impressed with the ostrich you got on top of your head.
Do you like my hat? Do you like my hat? I love my hat, except this is the Aussie salute, as you call it. I'm sure it's going to blow off. It's going to blow off any moment now. Well, today I'm hosting the Autumn Fashion Stakes, and I think that you really should try and dress appropriately for the occasion. And first of all, that means a felt hat. You should also have gloves, nice shoes and bag, preferably matching, and also try to leave the summer dresses at home, although the weather really doesn't call for that. But if you can dress in layers, you should be out there. I've seen.
How much homework did you put into getting this outfit together today? Was it traumatic or what? Second opinions?
Well, it was actually quite traumatic. For me, I went straight to a milliner that is cheap and does beautiful hats. Phoebe Rose chose the hat in 5 minutes, went down to T Rose, chose the outfit in 5 minutes, took it home, asked my grandmother for a second opinion. Stupid move, really stupid move. She was like, nope, don't like it. Don't like it, it's not appropriate for the day. So I put a cardigan on, we had the hat made of felt. I picked up a bag in an antique store and I'm set for the day.
Now, did you arrive here today in your red Mini Minor?
Oh no, they wouldn't let me bring it. They wouldn't let me bring it. I wasn't sure where I could park it actually. It's at home getting it cleaned by Dad.
Oh, well, that's the way to do it. Okay, now let's get down to the serious business.
Right.
We all know that you can pick a winner. We all know that. You're a racing expert.
Have you got
anything that you like today? Or are you going to follow Gay
Well,
Waterhouse?
I do actually have two tips. I had a chance this week to meet Bart Cummings.
Ah.
And I feel pretty good about Denendri. Right. She's the only filly in the race, so she instantly gets my support. She's a small horse, but she's got a big heart. And also I'm going to go for Catalan Opening, another Bart Cummings horse. I feel pretty good about Catalan Opening, and I think he's just been gelded, so it should make for a spirited race.
You are a cruel person. You know, for a moment there, I thought, this woman really knows what she's talking about.
I do!
We look forward to catching up with you a little later on this afternoon.
We'll have a good day.
Watch, it's just about to go.
Aussie salute.
OK, race one of the program is the Carbine Club Stakes. Simon and Ken have the latest market.
Thanks very much, Kenny. Well, I don't think there's any fillies quite as attractive as Katrina in the first, but what do you say, Simon? I think you're going for one of the stronger sex.
Yeah, I'm going for West Point, and as far as I know, all's still okay there.
Yeah, West Point look well. I'm sticking with the North. Let's have a look at the latest tote update. The firmer, as I suggested, it was over the odds early, is Express Age into $6.60. Kiwi Hero is out of touch to $10. West Point $2.90 to $3. The North solid at $2.50. $21 for Imprison. Cary Grant is a scratching. Super Steam at $17. Out from $61 to $67 for Themby. And Something Special, she's the filly in the race, she's at $14 or $15 as I speak. There's West Point going around to the barrier for the start of the Carbine Club Stakes with Shane Dye on top and the clerk of the course, and that was Super Steam just walked past. Well, the horses aren't the only attraction at Randwick today. Of course, there are the champion jockeys as well. And Michael Maher a short time ago caught up with one of the very best.
Mick Dittman, Doncaster Derby Day, a great day. You're kicking off in the first race with Kiwi Hero. It's won a Group 1, but it hasn't shown great form so far in Australia.
No, well, his run at Rose Hill was pretty ordinary, but apparently he's got better form, left-handed way of going. But, you know, he's got a stack of ability if he put it together.
So it's a matter of left-right way of going, you reckon?
Well, I think so. Like, you see all his best form. He's unbeaten left-handed way of going. It's Melbourne way, but he hasn't sort of done anything great this way of going. So we just hope that the big experience might help him a bit. It's only a small field, and he races handy to the lead just behind the pace, so he'll get a good run.
Mick, have you been on the horse before?
No, never, no.
So first time lucky, maybe?
You never know. Obviously, he's got plenty of ability. Just, you know, but if he handles this way of going, he's probably got a chance.
Now, with Moorwood's very, very shocking late withdrawal, you're in the Doncaster with Shame. Now, Shame has run second on the last 2 occasions to this horse. It must be a very, very big chance.
I think so, yeah. She's drawn very well, and it's not a big field. She's a back marker, so it's less horses for her to get around or get cluttered up amongst, and she's, you know, you can't fault her form. The last 2 runs have been enormous.
Johnny Hawkes is running pretty hot at the moment too.
Yes, his horses are going great, and he's, you know, probably a mile is probably her best distance. She's in tip-top form. She's probably nicely weighted for a good mare. No, she's got a great chance.
OK, let's hope you kick off the day with Kiwi Hero.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mick.
Yeah, Mick Dittman, the rider of Kiwi Hero in the first race, and probably his best mount is Shame in the Doncaster. Right, they're over behind the barriers. I know that something special was sweating up a little bit. How do the others look, Harry Troy?
Very well, Ken. Yes, she was sweating up just to touch something special, but doesn't look too bad. The only filly in the race, and very well-bred filly. Whether she's quite up to this is another thing. The horse that does catch my eye, Ken, is the North. TAB number 4 looks exceptionally well, the North, and sure to run very, very well. West Point, the Shane Dye mount, it looks also very, very well, and perhaps back to a mile from 1600 at his previous start. Probably ready to show his best today. And the other horse that looks extremely well and very hard and fit, Ken, is the top weight, number 1, Expressage. He looks very, very well. And matter of fact, I've made him my selection, Expressage. I put him on top to beat the North, and of course West Point for third. The other runner that does look very well is the horse we were just talking about, to Mick Dittman, Kiwi Hero, the New Zealander, the number 2 horse.
Yeah, thanks, Harry. That's him there in the pink and blue Kiwi Hero. The North, incidentally, the favourite on the race, is still showing 250 on the tote. He's drawn the outside barrier, but he'll get back a little. Let's hope if you've backed him, he isn't trapped wide. Well, they're going into line there now. We can see them from the inside. The horse in the black colours in closest was Themby. There's Super Steam taking his place for Brian York. There's only 8 runners. Super Steam goes into barrier 5. We're just waiting now for a couple of others, including Express Age, who's gone in. He's into barrier 6. 2 more to be positioned, and they'll be ready to run in the 1997 Carbine Club Stakes. Our caller, as always, is the champ, the best in the business, John Tapp. Here he is.
Thanks, Ken. First event on Derby Day is the Carbine Club Stakes, a listed race for 3-year-olds. And this has been productive of some very spirited racing over the years, and we've seen a few handy horses coming through the grades to win the Carbine Club Stakes. Starters onto his stand. They're off in the Carbine Club. Express Age began just a little awkwardly. First out is Themby. Imprisoners away smartly, and so is Kiwi Hero, followed by West Point, and then Super Steam, Something Special, and Express Age, and immediately dropping out last is the North. At the end of 300 metres, Imprison went to the lead. The pace is nice and brisk. In front by about 2 lengths to Kiwi Hero, and 3/4 away Themby. A length then to West Point on the outside of Super Steam. A length to Express Age, followed by Something Special, and a half length away on the inside is the North as they go up to the first turn. At the 1,000 metres mark, the pace is generous, and Imprison led by nearly 4 lengths to Kiwi Hero. A length and a half to West Point on the outside of Themby. A length then to Super Steam as they come down the side. Express Age is obliged to travel 3 deep, and the last couple are Something Special and the North. Past the 800 metres mark, Imprison a clear-cut leader over Kiwi Hero. A length away West Point with the run of the race, followed by Themby. Express Age 3 deep. Super Steam between horses. The North is saving ground on the fence, and Something Special on his outside as they come to the turn where they're starting to bunch up. Imprison is the leader over Kiwi Hero and West Point on the outside, followed by Tembe Super Steam. The North is looking for an inside run. There's not much room there at the moment. Topping the rise now, Imprison the leader. West Point the first to go after him, followed closely by Kiwi Hero. The North is starting to thread his way through the field past the 200, and West Point went to the lead over Imprison. The North on the inside starting to hit top gear, but he'll want to get motoring. The North is charging at West Point. The North on the inside coming home far the better, and the North got up to win by about a long head to West Point. A great ride by Beedman. Super Steam third, followed by Something Special at the head of the others, Kiwi Hero, and then Tembe and Imprison, and Express Age is last of all.
Yeah, two great jockeys and two good horses, and if you back the North, we should take the hat around for Darren Beedman. TAB number 4, the North, 260 a win, 120 a place. Number 3, West Point second, $1.40. Number 7, Super Steam third, $3.20. 4, 3 and 7, the numbers on the Carbine Club Stakes as we start to have a look at the replay. That's West Point in front, Imprison in the white hat. Now over on the rails in the Cerise, that's the North. Dived along the inside, and in the last 100 metres went home just a touch too well for West Point. Beedman didn't resort to the whip. The horse was giving his all under hands and heels, and he's won by about a head from West Point. Nice run by Super Steam third. Now as we pick them up, watch over near the inside in the Cerise, just getting between Tembe on the rails and Imprison, one out in the white and yellow colours. That's West Point. Dye's got the whip in his right hand. The horse is not racing all that generously, and the North responds to Beedman to go home best and grab the chocolates by about a head. And for every $1 you've put on him, if you back him on the tab, you'll get $2.60 back. Super Steam run a big race to run third, but the official numbers are 4, 3 and 7. Number 9, the filly Something Special, run fourth, and number 2, Kiwi Hero, fifth. From the inside, that's the North, just gone past Tembe over on the rails in the black, Imprison in the yellow and white, West Point in the blue and green. In the pink and blue colours is Kiwi Hero, and widest of all in the red cap there is Super Steam. They're past the post, they're easing down, and another winner to Darren Beedman, and by golly, he's a good rider. He's now with Harry Troy.
Yeah, thanks, Ken. Well, Darren Beedman, he just keeps rolling on in these future races, and again, he demonstrated his great talent there with a beautiful ride on the North. Congratulations, Darren.
Thanks, H. You had a lovely run. Everything went right. The horse settled lovely, and it's always nice to get your name on the board quick, get your confidence rolling.
That's right. Yeah, strike early in the day, and that certainly bolsters your confidence for later in the day. Darren, this track looks in magnificent order. How's it feel to be racing?
Best I've ridden on in about 8 years here at Randwick. The track's in perfect condition, and every horse has got a fair chance to win today.
Darren, this race has been a good pointer over the years. We've had some pretty smart horses win the race, Juggler, Golden Sword, to name a couple. The North, how far do you think this horse will go?
I think he's got a great chance. He's coming into the race at the right time of his preparation, and he's got a really good chance.
OK, mate, we'll leave you now to enjoy the moment. Good luck for the rest of the day, and we'll go back to Kenny Callender.
Thanks very much, Harry. Yes, the winner won by a short head with a length and a half between second and third. And the track, even though they didn't get along all that fast early, was so good that they broke 36. They ran 1:35.25. The track is a credit to the curator, John Jeffs. The North, Simon, don't look so downcast. It's only money that you've lost.
Yes, it is only money, and I was on West Point. Look, I thought he had every chance. The great thing about the ride of Beedman on the North was he basically hardly went round a horse at all during it. Gets up by a head. The man in the pigskin is a champion.
And what about Jack and Bob Ingham, who own him, and John Hawkes, big time last week with Guineas and with Octagonal, and they've started off Derby Day the same way with the North. On that note, we'll take a break on today's edition of the Wide World of Sports.
Welcome back. It's Doncaster Derby Day. We've just seen the running of the Carbine Club Stakes, and that was a terrific win once again to Darren Beedman on the North. And boy, oh boy, isn't he riding so very well? 13 Group 1 winners already this season. The North paid $2.60 and $1.20. Number 3, West Point, paid $1.40. Number 7, Super Steam, $3.20. Cornella, $3.20. The trifecta, $61.30. And they are the New South Wales dividends on race 1 here at Randwick. They say there's no such thing as charity on a racetrack, but the truth is that a number of needy children may benefit from this afternoon's program here at Randwick. 50% of every dollar won by horses representing the Lone Star Racing Syndicate is donated to the Variety Club of Australia. Tim Gilbert reports on the man behind Lone Star and the syndicate that has already donated over $360,000 to the charity.
Here's South Bend in the Lone Star colours. He's going to get up, and South Bend wins for the Variety Club.
The story of the man behind the Lone Star Racing Syndicate in many ways begins with the Australian diet of the last 30 years.
Colonel Sanders Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's finger-licking good.
In the late 60s, a young Canadian businessman moved to Australia, and with him came the Colonel's secret recipe. Bob LaPointe had brought Kentucky Fried Chicken down under, and the success of that venture can be found nightly on dinner tables across the country.
Introducing Pizza Hut's new stuffed crust pizza with cheese.
In 1970, Bob backed another winner with Pizza Hut. 15 years later, it was the introduction of Sizzler. Then, in 1992, and in semi-retirement, he produced another sure thing.
So enjoy our hospitality soon at the Lone Star Steakhouse.
We needed a way to promote it without a big budget, and because we'd had some success in horse racing, I decided to use horse racing as a means to promote our restaurant group. Lone Star, country and western, country music, western themed decor, horses, it all seemed to make sense to me.
The Lone Star Racing Syndicate was born.
We started raced the first horse in 1992, and in those days we only had 3 or 4 horses. It was a test concept.
Now, with 21 restaurants Australia-wide and close to 40 horses carrying the Lone Star colours around the country, the syndicate has grown from strength to strength. However, Bob concedes that in the early days, there was some confusion on how it would all work.
Well, I don't think anyone really understood what I was doing. I'm not sure I understood either, so it was just one of those things that it's evolved, and I think many people now realize that it could be a serious racing operation that will do a whole lot of good for a lot of people, and I think everyone's really happy about that.
The perfect way to mix business with pleasure. Bob LaPointe supplies the horses, 1% of restaurant turnover covers the training costs, and 50% of all prize money is donated to the Variety Club.
I can feel a bit of a buzz when I mention on the course amplifiers that a Lone Star horse is about to compete. I think the public are aware of the job that Lone Star are doing, aware of the job that Variety Club is doing, and they're starting to get behind them and ride them home when those white, red and dark blue colours loom into the picture.
Bob LaPointe's interest in racing was around long before the Lone Star Syndicate. The mighty mare of the early 80s, Emancipation, was probably the greatest of his many champion horses.
But the super filly Emancipation is in front. She's too good. What a mighty filly. Emancipation won by more than a length the ring through.
And this is where the LaPointe dreams are made.
Muskoka is an Indian word, Canadian Indian word, or North American Indian word, meaning land of the blue sky. And as you can see today, it's pretty well true to form.
Bob's pride and joy, the wonderful Muskoka Farms, 120 hectares of prime horse stud set on the delightful Hawkesbury River, an hour north of Sydney.
A lot of people thought that I was in the wrong location. They didn't think that the Hawkesbury River was the sort of place you could either breed a horse or train it or whatever. In fact, I think you can do anything you like as long as you have your heart in it and you focus on what you want to do and you are competitive by nature.
In 1969, the young Canadian acquired a broken-down old dairy farm. Now, nearly 30 years later, it's one of the premier horse training facilities in the country.
everything that you need to have to make sure that your young horses are treated well enough to be competitive as they grow through their racing years.
Bob LaPointe's success is obvious, and some would say he has a right to boast. But you speak to people that know him, and you soon realise that's not his style.
Bob LaPointe is a man of great compassion and generosity. He shows that in many ways every day, not only with charity but within the framework of his corporate structure. Rarely a day goes by that Bob LaPointe doesn't do something nice for somebody in need.
So it's only bigger and better from here?
Well, I hope it gets better. Big is not always better, but I'm of the view that we have a long way to go, and I want to make sure that the Lone Star Racing Syndicate is competitive and we continue to compete at the highest level, and we'll all enjoy winning and giving the money to the Variety Club.
Bob LaPointe, remember that name? He's a darn good man, does so much for charity. And you'll see Southbound in race 2 here at Randwick. And it's an Iron Horse, is another Lone Star horse racing in the Doncaster, so 2 to watch this afternoon. We'll be back after the break with more of the action from Royal Randwick. Darren Beadman aboard Guineas, winning the Golden Slipper last weekend. A wonderful moment. Octagonal and Golden Slipper winner Guineas made it a monumental day for the Ingham brothers at Rosehill Gardens last week, as just saw there. The partnership known as the Chicken Kings is preparing to hatch a few more winners before the Autumn Carnival runs its course. Michael Maher filed this update on the 2 media show magnates of the turf.
Two senior citizens being lauded like teenage pop stars in a country where it's much more fashionable to cheer the underdog than 2 of Australia's richest men. Punters from just about every walk of life strained to touch their idols. Somehow the courage of one animal had brought them all together. Two years ago we came here to Crown Lodge to do a story on Bob and Jack Ingham, the Chicken Kings, who over time had spent hundreds of millions of dollars on the sport of racing. It was the Golden Slipper Stakes 1995, and up to that time the Inghams hadn't really ever had what you would call an out-and-out champion. But that was all about to change. Our focus was on the Slipper favourite, Strategic, one of the Inghams' 168 two-year-old possibles.
All the hype that he's had, you know, it just hasn't fazed him at all.
So maybe it's passed on by the owners, maybe Bob and Jack.
Yeah, it might be that casual approach, yeah, it might pass on there.
But it was the horse Octagonal, who hadn't quite perfected the art of getting home by the barest of margins, who had the brothers excited.
And getting between them, Flying Spur, and look at Octagonal jumping out of the ground. Flying Spur hit the front, Flying Spur wins the Slipper.
From the time 75 years ago when Jack and Bob's father Walter put a rooster to 6 hens and launched a feathered empire, the Inghams have never been out of the winner's circle.
When Dad died, he was the biggest commercial egg supplier in Australia. 30,000 birds.
30,000, how many now?
How many now? Well, we process 3 million a week. So it's grown a little bit since then.
What's remarkable is how close the boys have been as they've built their empire, ever since Jack backed a horse on his dad's advice.
So I put £2 on it, and it won at 20 to 1.
Very nice.
And anyway, I thought, well, this is great. And coming home, he said, now Bob's at home working. He said, so half of that money you've got to give to him. So we've been chopping up ever since.
So we made a conscious decision. When our dad died 43 years ago, we